welcome back to the channel. So we are just out in Tesco getting our food shop because I know quite a few people last time were asking for a bit of a full day of eating, but rather than just doing what I eat in one day, I thought, I need to get my lift.
Yeah.
I thought rather than doing what I eat in one day, I'll do what I put into my food shop every week to kind of fuel training, to fuel kind of what I do day to day, but then also stuff that I actually eat, not like what I think Instagram wants to see or what I think YouTube wants to see, but what I actually do eat in a week. So we're gonna go into Tesco now, do a bit of a food shop. I kind of give as much value and advice of what I can as I'm going. So yeah, stay tuned. First of all, we need the trolley. So I'm gonna go get it. So initially, or the last time you saw me, the plan was to take you around Tesco and show you what I get and put in my food basket. However, we do have a 1-year-old and it didn't go to plan. So I'm not gonna show you what I'm having for dinner today and across the week. Training days, non-training days, that kind of thing. Why I structure my food the way I do. But Sunday is always a day that we either try something new or have something that's a little bit off plan, let's say. But what we've tried to do today, there's a 1-year-old. What we've tried to do today is make like a Nando, or Nicole's made a Nando's fake away. So we have ciabatta bread with some chicken breast, some peri fries, some corn on the cob, and some peri rice. So again, just to show you that you can, like I'm having chicken and rice, but we've spiced it up and made it in a way where it's not boring. And it's something that I don't feel like I'm dieting eating this, although I'm just having chicken and rice. It still feels like something that I'm going to enjoy. So Sunday, off-plan meal, Nando's fake away. So I just got back home. Monday and Wednesday are normally long days, but today or this week I've only got one long day on the Monday. So normally you're asleep, aren't you? Or supposed to be. But she just came in and I've missed her and she won't let me put her down. So I'm going to have me dinner now. What is it? Flatbread?
Sweet honey chicken.
Sweet honey chicken.
Barbecue flatbread.
Barbecue flatbread. And we've basically turned it.
Yay!
We've basically turned it into like a pizza. So again, going back to making boring meals not so boring. She just ran away. Making boring meals not so boring. So flatbread, some chicken on there, and some veg. But we've spruced it up and made it into like a pizza, basically. So, yeah, again, another tip. 2 tips. Number 1, to avoid feeling like you're eating the same food over and over again, especially if you've got kids and you've got partners who don't want to be eating boring food. Just because you're dieting doesn't mean that they want to eat boring foods. And also just keeping variety and making things a bit snazzier than just having your boring traditional foods that people typically have on a diet. Again, makes you feel like you're not dieting at all. So that was the air fryer. I'm going to show you what it looks like now on plate. This is cute. Aaliyah, did you do that? Ooh. Come show Daddy what you done. Look, what's this? Show Daddy what you... Aaliyah, show Daddy what you done here. Yeah? What did you do here? What does that say? Daddy? Okay, yep.
Where's your slipper?
Where's your slipper? Yeah, good girl. Where there's food, Aaliyah is close. But yeah, so this is what Nicole chefed up for us. It's flatbread, some vegan cheese, because we have to have non-dairy stuff in the house because of the baby, some peppers, some chicken breast, and then we've got the oven potatoes and some veg. So again, same thing as yesterday, as in it is just like, in reality, it is just bread, flatbread and chicken and potatoes, but that looks a whole lot better than just plain old chicken and veg. This is what the baby's doing instead of being asleep. Aaliyah, hi. Say hi to the vlog. Aaliyah. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat this and get into bed because we're up early tomorrow. I'm up early tomorrow, and I'll catch you on Tuesday and I'll show you what I have. So normally I obviously fuel before I train, but today I had a client and then had to train straight after just to get it in before I started work. So that's why I've not showed you what I've had during the day or to fuel my training on Monday. So I'm going to show you what I do to fuel my training on the Tuesday tomorrow morning. So yeah, next time you see me, be Tuesday morning. So it's Tuesday morning. It is 5:33 in the morning. I'm just going to go over how I fuel my early morning sessions and how they're different to when I train a little bit later in the morning. So I think I'm gonna have 2 crumpets with a little bit of honey and potentially get like a shot of espresso on the way into work as well. But yeah, the reason I eat probably a little bit less when I train earlier in the morning, or sometimes if I'm doing, especially if I'm doing cardio, I'll probably do it either fasted or just with some coffee. Couple of reasons. Number one, I probably ate not that far from going to sleep the day before, so I'm still relatively full. I'm not really that hungry in the morning anyway, and I don't like feeling full when I'm training, again, especially when there's cardio involved. So today I've got a bit more of an upper body session with less cardio at the end, so I need a little bit more fuel, hence the crumpets and the honey, just for a bit of simple carbs. So yeah, that's why I have something like that over either going fasted or just having a coffee, especially today because I've got a bit of resistance training as well. So just something to be mindful of when you are structuring what you're going to have for like pre-workout. If you're going to have a pre-workout, just kind of think ahead on what session you've got, how you like to feel in your session. Use data that you've used before. So for example, I know tomorrow I've got a run, like interval training, and last time I done this I didn't fuel or I didn't have breakfast beforehand, and at the back end of it I really struggled. So I know tomorrow that I won't go fasted. I'll probably have something similar again. It's not going to sit on my stomach that long, and also I don't have that long of a gap between when I have this to when I'll actually be training, which will be about 30-45 minutes. If I had a little bit longer, I could probably fuel a bit more. So if I was training later on in the day, I'd fuel probably a little bit more. I would have had more meals, so then my meal timings will be a bit better, so that I won't feel like I'm eating so close to training, so I can probably have a bit more fuel. But because I am training this early today, it's going to be something quick, something easy, something that will sit well, digest easily, and it'll be readily available carbs and fuel that I can use straight away. So yeah. So session in the bag, upper body with a little bit of eggs to finish off with at the end. So I'm just going to refuel now after my session. What I get post-workout varies depending on intensity of the session and how just I feel afterwards in terms of how hungry I am. But some principles always stay the same. Protein, make sure that goes in. Your muscles have broken down a lot of protein during the session, so you want to replenish them and help to synthesize that protein and also repair muscle tissue. And then also it helps with recovery. Obviously, you probably all know that. Second thing you want to get in is carbs. Obviously, you've just depleted a lot of glycogen in your muscles and you need to replenish that and get that back in the body. So things high in carbs, simple carbs if you can. So things maybe slightly higher in sugar, cereals, cereal bars, that kind of thing. So don't let no one tell you that you can't have things like that in your diet. You just have to be smart to know when to use it and when it's best utilized. However, something that you may want to avoid, that you may not know about, is try avoid having high fatty foods after you train. Obviously, like I said before, you're trying to get protein and you're trying to get carbs back in your body as quickly and as efficiently as you can, and for it to partition and go around the body and do what it's supposed to do. Fat slows all that down. Fat is the hardest macro to digest. So it's going to slow down how quickly you're able to reutilize or get carbs and protein back in your body. So if you're having fat after your session, you're going to slow down your digestion and you're not going to be as efficient as you can be with getting all that stuff moving around the body. So save your fat for the back end of the day. It's going to keep you fuller, obviously, and it's actually going to help you with things like hormone balance. It's going to help you with things like sleeping and getting into a good sleep. So little tip for you is, after your session, protein, carbs straight back in. Make it as simple as you can. So for me, I think today I'm going to have some protein oats, and I might put a bit of honey or something at the top again, just for some simple, easy, high sugar carbs. And I'm going to avoid the fats until late on today. So yeah, I'm going to get this down me, and then next time you see me, we'll be on to either snacks, what I have for like snacks, or you may just catch me for dinner and I'll talk to you what I have for dinner. So stay tuned. Now, while we are on the subject of protein, do not get caught in the trap of seeing something that says high in protein and just assume that's going to be good for you. With the protein branding on packages, something only has to have, I don't know if it's 10 or 15% of the overall content of it has to be protein for them to class it as a high protein food, basically. So please read the labels before you get bullied into this market employ of thinking something's higher in protein and it's not. For example, these things says it's got 10 grams of protein in it, and it's a protein flapjack, I think, or a protein bar. But if you look at the back of it, one of these has 188 calories and has 9 grams of fat. 9 grams of fat. So if there's 4 in there, 36 grams of fat in that. You would eat that and think, oh, I'm getting 40 grams of protein, but you're also getting 40 grams of fat. So just be careful with your choices of protein, whereas these little things, 250 mils, 131 calories, less than that already, double the amount of protein and has 0.3 grams of fat. So in terms of a post-workout, as I said before, you want to try and stay away from fat because it slows down your digestion. Whereas these, you're getting your protein, you're actually getting your protein in, and you're taking away all the rubbish and you're limiting the amount of calories that you're having. So please make sure when you're choosing your post-workout to look at the labels and see what it includes, even if it says it's a high protein. So on to lunchtime. I have got myself some roast chicken breast chunks. Again, I have probably chicken every lunchtime across the week or weekday. Keep things the same, don't have to think about it, don't have to use very much brain power, and I know exactly what I'm having. And another little hack for people who don't want to track their calories, just eat the same foods or similar foods and you don't have to track calories. Also, another thing that people struggle with is protein intake. So what I like to do is whatever your daily protein intake for that day is, for example, say you've got to have 200 grams, then just split that across your meals. So if you're having 3 meals and 2 snacks, that's 5 meals. So just do 200 grams divided by 5. So you get 40 grams of protein each meal, or around that. So this 170 grams of chicken breast, and it has around 45 grams of protein. So that's why I just have the same foods all the time, especially during lunch times and times I'm outside the house, because I don't have to think about macros and calories because it's the same every day. I've got that with some bagels, again just some carbs because it makes everything taste nicer, and I have it most days as well. And then because we like balance and we're all about balance, I've got myself these caramel donuts from Morrison's, which are legit. Wouldn't advise it, but as I said, because I track everything all the time and I know what I'm having, I can get away with adding a little bit more variety and things I like a little bit more because I know they're within my calories for the day. So yeah, that's lunchtime. This is chicken enchiladas.
A little bit crispy.
A little bit crispy.
Sorry.
They're gonna say they're meant to be like that. It's gone down a treat with Aaliyah. Do you like it? Yeah? I think she likes it. So every Sunday we sit down and we plan what we're gonna, well, Nicole goes on TikTok and finds recipes for us. And we plan what we're gonna have for the week that week. And yesterday's flatbread pizza was better than I thought it would be, but this was the thing that I was looking forward to on the meal plan this week. What is in it? Just peppers,
chicken, and then seasoning.
Talk about how long did it take you to make?
Half an hour.
Half an hour. Half an hour to make, not that much prep time. Bang it in the oven and carry on and do whatever else you had to do. So, intervals done. Every Wednesday I've got some sort of interval training for this block. So today was the longest one we've had so far, and I think today's the last week of this accumulation phase, so just accumulating as much fatigue as we can to then go into like an intensification phase next. I think it starts from next week for another 2 weeks where things will really ramp up before we finish on that 8th week with a test again and testing all the KPIs for this block, and running is always one of them. So yeah, that's that done. Fueling in terms of running is a little bit different to when I do resistance training, so gonna need a little bit more or a lot more fuel than I normally would. Carbs obviously are gonna go back in, protein's gonna go back in. I think I'm not having enough protein at the moment because I'm waking up so sore than like the days after, and I'm not, well, in the resistance training anyway, I'm not doing that much. The running bit is hard, but I don't think I'm having enough protein post session, so need to fix that. But in other news, I think not only am I not having enough protein, I'm not having a lot of calories in general, probably lower than I've set out to, but it's meant I've lost a little bit more weight. So I weighed myself this morning, and from January, from the start of this year basically, so around 8-ish weeks, I'm 3 kilos down, and that's from not really dieting per se. I know what calories I need to hit. I eat the same foods every day basically, and it just goes to show the power of having routine and having the same things over and over again. I've not tracked, I've not felt like I'm dieting, and it's allowed me to lose 3k and not really try. So I know if I ever do want to, either like for summer or something coming up, and I just dial things in a little bit more, I'm going to find it relatively easy to drop body fat and body weight. So yeah, a little bit of a buy-in for those who are like, oh, I don't want to eat the same foods over and over again. One, like you've seen how my meals have been structured this week, we've tried to make boring foods and we've just made them look and taste a little bit better. But the byproduct of that is I've lost 3 kilo. I've still got to enjoy weekends. I've still got to enjoy my foods when I want to. I've still got balance and space in my diet to kind of have some of the things I want and not have it like a cheat meal or a cheat day. I just, if I want something, I'm going to have it. Routine's that good and it's in place that well that I kind of like know what I need to do the days after to get back onto plan. And my sessions are unbelievable at the moment. It's the best I've ever felt. Gonna go get a post-workout, some sort of protein, probably a protein drink, protein shake, and a load of carbs to go back in, probably some squares bars or something. But I'm gonna go to Lidl now and I take you along with me. So, absolutely starving. Last time you would have seen me would have been after my run. Since then, I've had lunch. Obviously, I've not gone all this time. It's the afternoon or the evening now. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening. I've had some chicken and rice, actually, just plain boring chicken and rice. Just finishing the barbers. Just went to get a trim, so just gonna go home now and have dinner. Just on the topic of hunger, especially not even like intentionally dieting, because obviously when you're dieting you should expect to be hungry, but even people who kind of want a bit of balance for like their nutrition and aren't like intentionally dieting, like I said, often forget that if you've dropped calories you're going to be hungry, and it's a sign even when you're trying to push food up and eat a little bit more to add more muscle or whatever, or fuel performance. If you find that you're hungry a lot of the times, it's a probably big indicator that you're not actually in a surplus, or you're maybe not fueling as well as you should do and you're still in a deficit. However, if you are dieting, you're going to be hungry. I think there's like a stigma around hunger, and people think, oh, if you're hungry it's a bad thing. It's just part of not eating as much food as your body would probably want you to, whether it's intentional or not. So if you are dieting, or even if you're not dieting and you're pushing food up and you realise that you're hungry quite a bit, obviously for that, just eat more food. As I said, it's a big sign that you're not eating enough. But if you are dieting, expect to be hungry. It's part of it. A lot of people start complaining and moaning and saying, oh, I'm hungry, I'm starving all the time. It's like, yeah, what did you expect? You're not eating as much as your body wants you to. You're like restricting yourself with your food. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's part of dieting. It's part and parcel of it. Embrace it, enjoy it, suck it up even, and just understand that there's a time and a place for it, and just, yeah, suck it up, get on with it. So some days dinner looks like that. Basically a breakfast. Toast, hash browns. These hash browns aren't mine, they're Aaliyah's, they're just cooling down. An egg, 2 sausages, 2 hash browns, like I said, 2 pieces of toast, some bacon and some baked beans, which you can do worse than that, basically, for something that's just been thrown up and something that has been done relatively quickly. You can do worse than this. Obviously not the ideal level of food in terms of nutrition, however, sometimes that's the kind of day it is when you've got a toddler. As I said before as well, because it's a rest day, I can get away with having a little bit more fat. So yeah, I'm going to tuck into this. That'll probably be the end of the meals for today. Next time you see me will be Friday morning, and I'll show you what I'm having then. So as you could probably tell, it is the evening, and I've not showed you anything from Friday, with actual reason, to be fair. I've had to do a night order today in work, which means getting up at 3 a.m. this morning. So because of that, I've not trained today. It's been like an impromptu rest day. So the reason I'm not showing you anything is because what I would have ate today would be the exact same as what I ate yesterday on my last rest day. So that will actually help me for tomorrow, because I do have a big session tomorrow. Saturday is always like a high rock style workout, or like a high rock sim. But tomorrow we've got like a high rock style workout, so I'll show you how I feel for like bigger sessions. Because bar Wednesday, which was just a run, it was a big session but it was just a run. Saturday is the only day that I have like a big block of like cardio and resistance training, so fueling's a little bit different and it's a little bit bigger, so I'll show you that. But we're having a mini roast today, so I wanted to kind of give you, I wanted that to have its own introduction basically, because if you know us, you know we love a roast. So that's what will be on the agenda for tonight. We've got some family friends coming over as well, so we're going to have it with them. So I probably got two sets of people, dads especially, or parents watching this, who will see the stuff that I have. So like I'm having a roast, and some of the other foods I've had this week for dinner, and think that I don't prioritize like your more like single ingredient foods, basically your boring foods that are nutrient dense. And they'll have other people on the fence who, the majority of things you'll see will talk about, and rightly so, will talk about nutrient dense foods, it'll talk about satiating foods, it'll talk about single ingredient foods, and I obviously do the boring stuff. I have a routine. I do the boring stuff in the gym. I don't do anything extravagant. I take care of my steps, I take care of my cardio, I take care of my training. I do the boring things that potentially Instagram and YouTube, that's not the baby, that's something just fell. Instagram and YouTube will not want to see. I do all that stuff, and it's the same with my diet. I do all the boring stuff. I'm just trying to also show you that it doesn't always have to be boring. It can have variety. It can be where you eat with your family and your friends, and you also prioritize life as well as your health, and you can find a balance with family and fitness. So that's why I've showed you some of the other meals that I have, especially dinners, that are a bit different from what you'd normally see, because I'm still doing all the boring stuff. I'm still doing all the stuff that other people do, but I'm also just showing you that you can find a balance for those people who don't want to live out of Tupperware, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. That was me 2 years ago. But my life's changed, my priorities have changed, and as they have changed, it doesn't mean that I have to completely neglect myself, but it also means I don't have to completely neglect what's now important to me, family and making memories. So that's why you've seen the less boring stuff. I still do them. I'm not a friggin' wild cannon or whatever on the loose, just eating whatever he wants and hoping that I don't put weight. There's actual method to the madness, and I'm trying to show you it. We've got a special friend. Bye bye.